Hello everyone! Today's Thursday's Fluency. We're going to focus all on multiplication. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video to work out the problems. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe, follow me. I make amazing videos. I'm hilarious. All right. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with number 1. And you guys know how much I love my PPs. PPs are that partial product. So for these problems, I'm going to be writing out my partial products. I'm gonna start with my 1s times 1s, 1s times 10s, 1 times 100s. So it should be 6 times 3, 6 times 40, 6 times 500. And I love this way because you're only still multiplying just single digits, just add your zeros. And then my next one, I'm going to start in 20. And it's 20 because it's in the tens, it's 2 tens. So same pattern, 20 minus 6. Oh my goodness, I almost messed up right then. 20 minus 3, 20 times 3. 20 times 40, 20 times 500. I'm squeezing it all in here. Big shocker. All right, so 6 times 3. What is 6 times 3? 18. And again, the biggest mistake I always see is just people lining up their 1s, their 10s, their 100s, possibly thousands. 6 times 4 is 24. Add a 0. So it's 240. And then 6 times 5, what is that, you guys? And add 2 zeros? You're right. Should be 30. So really, 6 times 500 is 3,000. Then over here, I started making a little mistake, but I caught it. 2 times 3 is 6, add a 0, so it's 60. 2 times 4 is 80, add 2 zeros, so that's 800. And our very last one, 2 times 5, which is 10, but let's add our 3 zeros first. 1, 2, 3, and then our 10. And there you go. We should see all of our 1s, 10s, 100s, thousands, and even 10,000s are all lined up. So 8, I see a 10 and a 1 is an 11. Remember, fluency is if you could do it real quick. I want to make sure I line these up kind of correctly. I almost forgot this 2 right here. 1 and a 2. You know, I'm going to make it 10 first. 8 and 2 are 10, plus 1 is 11. Regroup that one over here. 3 and 1, 4. So you guys should have your product, 14,118. I am so sorry, it's so squeezed in there. I'm kind of nervous about my number 2. You know what? I am going to get a piece of paper from our Learn book to solve that one. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here then. Remember, you can't have a whole number times a fraction. You got to turn this one into a fraction. What is 16 as a fraction? It's 16 over 1. And multiplying fractions and decimals, in my opinion, is the most easiest thing to do. Again, this should be all fluency. 16 times 1 and 1 times 4. For multiplication, you get to just multiply straight across. You don't have to find a common denominator or anything. So you should get 16 fourths, which is, what is that? 4. And also, you're doing a little division right here. You're doing how many times can 4 go into 16? 4 times. So let's do that with number 4. 15 over 1. 15 times 2 is 30. 1 times 3 is 3. How many times can 3 go into 30? 10. Your product is 10 for number 4. Number 5. Ooh, what is of? Of means to multiply. So of is multiply. I put that up here on our multiplication chart. Remember that we have these in the classroom. Every time we come across a word, we're going to add it to our chart. So 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 5 is 15. Your product is 4/15. I see the same problem with number 6. Again, I'm going to solve number 2 and number 6 on another piece of paper. Ooh, multiplying fractions. That's going to be 7 and 8. So what do you guys have to do? Mrs. Carey's half circle thingy. Hopefully you guys did that, where you multiply and add to make into a mixed number. Then you could take your mixed number and multiply it. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11 should be 11 fourths times. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, so it's 3 halves. Those are the improper fractions. Now we can multiply. We got 33 over 8, but we can't leave it as an improper fraction. We got to change it into a mixed number. Here's another way to do it. How many times can 8 go into 33? Got to think of my facts. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 still seems too small. 8 times 4 is 32. So 4 is my whole number. 32, subtract, and I should get 4 and 1/8 as your product. That should be your final answer. Number 8, again, we have to do Mrs. Carey's half circle thingy in order to multiply. So we got to turn these both into an improper fraction. 15, 16, 17. So I got 17 thirds times 12, 13. Whoa, I did, 13 fourths. So my denominator is 12. But as you guys know, I can't do that in my head. I gotta solve it. I'm gonna do 17 times 13. This time I'm gonna do the old school way. 21, 51. Okay, I'm done with my ones. 7 and 1. So when you multiplied 17 times 13, you should have gotten, let's double check that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that is 12, 2, perfect. So 221. Again, I can't divide that. I don't know what that is. So I have to do long division. I'm actually right now currently getting out more paper, just so I can have scratch paper. So again, if you guys need paper, always go into your Learn book. Plenty of paper here. So I am transferring this right over here. I'm doing 12 divided by 221. 12 can go into 22 one time. When you subtract, you get 10. Bring down the 1. Now you have to think, how many times can 12 go into 101? Most of you guys should know your 12 facts. This is where fact fluency comes in. I am going to make sure that you guys know your 12s. So count by 12s. You got 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Keep going. All right, what if we did 12 times 8? Hopefully you guys got up to 8s. That's 96. If we keep going, what is 96? What is, yeah, all right. So let's start. We do 8, 96, 9, so 4, 4 twelfths, 18 and 4 twelfths is your remainder. However, these could be simplified. You could divide both by 4. And you should get 18 and 1/3. I'm gonna write that over here for number 8. 18 and 1/3. Very nice, very nice. So now I'm gonna work on number 2 over here. I'm gonna rewrite it. So number 2 is gonna be rewritten over here so I can have plenty of room and not make mistakes. We don't want to be making a mistake just because we ran out of room. All right, so I'm going to do all the PPs over here. 4 times 5. See if you guys remember that pattern. 4 times 5, 4 times 10, 4 times 700, 200, just kidding. Again, I almost made that mistake. And then 4 times 7,000. Then we have to do 30 times 5, 30 times 10, 30 times 200, and 30 times 7,000. These are all your partial products. Whew. All right, let's start multiplying. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 2 with 2 zeros is 800. And 4 times 7, ooh, that's the day I was born. It's 28 with 3 zeros. So 3 zeros and 28. There's our first chunk. Then we have 3 times 5, which is 15, and add a 0. So that's 150. What is that? That's 300. 3 times 2, which is 6, and add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then 3 times 7, which is 21, but how many zeros do we need to add? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add our zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 21. Ooh, this is a big product, my loves. All right, so all of our ones column is a 0. 5, 9, 11. Ooh, I can make it 10. 10 and 13. Again, make sure I'm constantly lined up here. 15, 4, and 2. So your product for number 2 should be 245,310. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm going to actually write that over here. 245,310. Awesome. And let's work on our decimals. Now, remember with decimals, I'm going to rewrite it over here. 3 and 15 hundredths times 1900. So sorry. What's wrong with my vocabulary today? All right, same thing is we have to do. I'm just going to do partial products. I'm doing the whoop, 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 because I'm still going to multiply. I'm still going to do the same steps as I did over here. At the very end, though, we need to make sure we move that decimal 4 times. 4 times, 4 times. So I'm going to do 9 times 5, 9 times 10, and 9 times 300. Again, it makes it easier when you break it up like that. Don't be scared of 9s. Then over here, we're going to do 10 times 5, 10 times 10, 10 times 300. And we should have our product, and then move our decimal. Whew, this is fun stuff. You guys know how much I love math. All right, 45. What is that? 9 with the 0, 90. What is that? 24 with 2 zeros. Oh, I just did that wrong. It was 18. It should be 27. Ay, Mrs. Carey. Sorry, you guys. Right? 9, 18, 27. Yeah, what was I thinking? Ay. I'm glad I caught my mistake right there. Again, I always show you guys that you make mistakes when you go too fast. Constantly I'm going fast when I'm making my YouTube videos. 50, 100, and 3,000. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's add this up. I got 5. And don't call this ones yet, because this is technically hundredths. What is this? 13 and 5 is 18. 7, 8, 9, and 5. And the last thing we have to do is we start from behind. We move the decimal 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the answer is actually smaller. Yes, that's what happens when we multiply decimals. So your product for number 6 is 5,985 thousandths, 10 thousandths technically. Wow, that was huge. All right, my loves, make sure you're constantly practicing fluency. I'll see you tomorrow.